Hello and welcome. This is your GM of the Great Barrier, broadcasting from the center of your entertainment galaxy. And we are back with the Season 2 premiere of Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. Today's premiere, we start our newest adventure, Episode 1 of Season 2. That would be Bounties. And we are back today on the yacht following our crew in the Raptor class vessel. As a very brief overview at the start, you have been together for what by human time, the only one who cares for that would have been one Traven Lex, about the course of 3 or 4 months. I think it's closer to 2.5 by the Klingon calendar. And your crew assembled under interesting circumstances. Not everybody was entirely willing to show for this, but whether by exciting opportunities, extortion, or just having nothing better to do, the crew here is assembled. We have, of course, the ship's captain and initial co-owner of the ship, initial engineer for that matter, Tabak of the House Cord. The engineer, one Raldar, who has now become chief engineer of the ship. At the weapons console, Woe, a Khazinti woman of exceptional height in a crew that, by and large, kind of skews very high on that scale. In the sick bay, a highly competent, I should say, Gorn doctor by the name of Kresic, and a helm officer, an old but amiable Hemhuch Klingon of the more traditional ridged appearance, by the name of Ezek Korg. Later on, you did come to acquire it'd be better to say that Woe invited them to come along by standing in a sack which she promptly lifted over him and dumped some food. It was a strange session. But you later had one...
Frankly, no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
In any case, you have been joined by one Traven Lex during this time. These first few months of your mission have been, or rather time together, have been perilous, but intriguing in some ways, I suppose. Granted, your first mission, you came under assault by unmarked battle cruisers that are generally only run by the Empire, which is gravely concerning, but you focused on survival and managed to escape then. Since then, your ragtag little crew has managed to pull together a few more souls to accompany you. You've taken on some jobs, and you've faced life, and in Traven's case, death together. But that first set of missions has finished, with yet more passengers taken on, some more mysterious, others, frankly, a little disturbing in some ways. But it is all leading you back to the home port you came to in the middle of the last season, the planet of Zeth'lor. And it is on that planet that you are presently engaged to venture back towards. I do believe we actually have a log here, specifically from someone who has been through quite a lot, especially in our Season 1 finale. So, Traven, would you be all good to go for that log?
I am good to go.
Then, by all means, Traven, take it away.
It's been so long since I started one of these. I do remember how to start one. Log, 2nd day of Maktak, year of Kalis, 875. Been a journey, for sure. Still dream about that place. All the things I saw. Granted, I'm thankful for it. I would have never have gotten to where I am at this point without that happening, but I'm having so many issues just looking at my crew in the face sometimes. Seeing their visages, the horrible ways they looked. How can you see anybody the same after that? But I'm pushing forward. Turns out that the crew's been doing really well without me. Success after success. Even though I heard there was quite a bit of complications, something about a space station. But I'm tending not to look at the negative, more on the positive. My symbiotes have really come in tune with me. I've gotten closer to them, but even though I've gotten closer, I feel myself drifting away again. I'm trying to push forward, and it's tough. I try to distract myself by just opening up, letting me experience their insights. One of the weirdest things, though, is they seem to have a weird attachment towards one of the new passengers, Dirkir. He has the demeanor of a drunken brawler, but I've been with Klingons, I've been around any kind, really. And my hosts and me both agree there's something different about that guy. We'll figure it out, I think. We'll get close to him, talk with him. I'm sure he's at least got a story to tell. What Klingon doesn't? Jesus. They can go on and on and on. But I heard that we're due to arrive at Zeth'lor. Hopefully get a new set of jobs, and hopefully this time I can actually put forward something useful. Going back to when I was in school, I remember I really liked science. Yeah, I mean, a chef is one thing, but if I could add my science expertise to the crew, that would make me way more useful and will take me out of combat for sure. And that's something I think I need for the time being. This is Traven Lex. Wish me luck. Logging off.
All right. And with your first log in some bit of time here, we will join the Yan and its crew on the inside of the ship. I think that the first place to go would probably be to a place that Traven is certainly familiar with. Let's go to the mess hall. And to set the scene here, first among the other players that are here, whom would like to be present?
I'll be present.
I would.
I'll be there.
I gotta feed everybody.
I'll be passed.
Very well.
We'll take a present there.
All right, I'll be sure to put everyone in. Would you like to bring your main characters, or would you prefer to bring supporting characters right now?
Shit.
Let's go down.
Both. I want both there.
Yeah, let's go down
Sorry.
the list there. All good there, Ray. So let's see. Going down the list, Caligo, did you want to bring in Raldar, or did you want anyone else?
Who thinks Junior's ready to learn table manners?
Oh god.
Yes or no, boys? Answer the question.
The answer is no.
So let's do it.
I
The answer is absolutely no.
I do not know how Azek will vote, but I can presume that Kresik has voted no. I can't imagine Traven is prepared to even consider voting yes, and the captain will undoubtedly veto. Ezek, do you want to voice any particular thoughts on that?
My nose is stuck in a pad looking at the course that we're going to, so he's completely oblivious to what's going on.
Fair enough. Let's see.
What if I wiggle a gawk pocket in his face? Would that convince you? Would that let you put him at the table?
It's too early in the morning for that.
Yeah.
How dare you be so selective all of a sudden? Too posh for hot pocket. I mean, gawk pocket.
Okay, going on down the list. Unfortunately, I think for now, Raldar will have to come alone or without his
I see.
without the
Yeah.
boy.
It'll be a
time.
surprise then. We'll save it for his birthday.
Yep. Okay, going on down the list. Rev, would you like to just bring Kresic for this one, or would you like to? Would you like other characters present here? How would you wish to go about that?
No, just Kresic. Lionel doesn't like eating with the rest of the crew. If we can help it.
Completely fair. Let's see. Well, Ray, I know you wanted to bring Woe. Did you also want Crow Cur along?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay.
He's awful. I need him there.
Yep. Okay, let's put Croker in the scene as well. Ezek, I have your token there, of course, and then did you want to bring anyone else into the scene?
Unless the captain's there. I can't even remember the guy's name. The security
Takoth.
guy's not there. Yeah, Takoth isn't there.
Yeah, that's completely fair. So yeah, the captain will not be joining you for breakfast. But otherwise, Traven, of course, you would be in the scene. If you would like Bahan at least around, I could always take over for him. And I will say, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and move this over so that the stream can also see the channel as we have it arranged here, or the mess hall. If you would like to rearrange yourselves in any way, finding different seats at the table, I will invite you to do so at your leisure. I realized I put the Gorn on the same side of the table, and they might not like that.
We're not sitting next to each other.
That's fair.
Hold hands.
Yeah.
Just for clarity, are these the traditional Kirk Gorn, or are these the spoiler-free Gorn that we've seen recently?
Oh, I don't think any of those Gorn are on the ship at all.
They better not be.
Those Gorn are gross.
Not
Keep them away.
Not a one of the most recent on-screen iteration of Gorn, as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm having difficulty remembering the exact subspecies, but I'm more confident that you are that both Raldar and Kresic are closer to like the original series version. It may actually be in your character sheets, not so much in facial structure, but in terms of height and whatnot. I know that the Enterprise version, they are like a separate sort of species. Names elude the GM. It has been a little while since I've done this. I beg for the audience to bear with me.
Do you have a bear with you?
I don't. My place of residence is strictly no bears. Only a cosmic chinchilla.
Well, that's just homophobic.
Well, I don't make the rules. This world is far from perfect, but the arc of the universe is just, but it is also long. In any case, it is all beyond the scope of this tabletop game. So let's go ahead and follow the scene from here. We will just run it with the players situated as is. And with Traven walking in. Tell us, Traven, how are... well, yeah, tell us how he's looking here and how he's running with... or how he's managing to serve food right now.
Well, he has 2 platters on one arm. Usually he would carry 2, but, low arm, so he's using as much waiter skills as possible to try and get all the food down at the table. His eyes are sunken, for sure, like he hasn't been getting very much sleep lately. And as he serves, he saves Woe and Raldar last to serve. And when he approaches them, he definitely walks a bit slower.
Can so you have 2 plates on one arm,
Yes,
or 2 platters on one arm?
2 platters.
Shit. Okay, I was gonna ask. Okay, Betty turns to you, like her eyes glow, the face comes out. She turns her head while Croker continues staring basically at the Raldar. And she says, "Oh, good lord, sweetheart, do you need any help?"
Nope. Chef does not need help. I've had school for this. I got this. Just have to practice and get better at it.
Okay, but if you need help, you just tell us, okay?
Yeah. He's still recovering. I'm not surprised.
What are you talking about? I'm as fit as an ox thing. Cow. Whatever.
Good
Sure.
lord, he's delirious. Someone help him.
Just see Betty looking right, turning to the left and looking at Hasek, who's clutching the pad in
Yeah.
the one free hand.
Everyone looks at the one-armed man to do it.
Azek will kind of feel that tinge of like people watching or staring, and he'll look up and look around and assess the situation and say, "What? Not like I've got a spare."
That joke's a lot funnier when
You
you're
could at
missing an
least
arm.
show him how it's done.
I'm a pilot, not a waiter.
Hi, Captain.
Hello.
Oh, why, hello
Hi,
there.
Captain.
I just sort of sneak in quietly. Didn't want to interrupt.
You're still quiet. Turn your volume up, man.
You guys have to turn my volume up, remember?
I got you up high, bro. Speak louder.
Ah!
Oh,
I don't know if that helped any.
peeking my OBS there. I wouldn't have it any other way, right? Anyway, so yeah, just to give us some flavor here, Traven, is I presume, would breakfast? Are you going more for a savory platter, or have you been taking some gambles and trying to throw in something a little sweeter?
Definitely not sweet. Something hearty, salty, earthy, but something that has a refreshing feel to it.
So some variation on a gach recipe. Gotcha.
You
Could
can't
be
mess with what's
Breguet,
not
could be
broken.
Breguet lung, could be Pythias claw. Never know.
Woe notices Traven's hesitation when he gets to her. And she takes a big exaggerated bite and goes, this is really good. Thank you. She does not like it, but she wants you to think she likes it.
He gives a slight grimace. If it's bad, you can just tell me it's bad. I'm not a child.
I never said you were, mate. Never said you were. It's just, I don't like it.
Is there
Are
Anything I can do to make it more palatable?
Do you have anything bloody and fresh? Upon saying this, she immediately grimaces. Never mind, it's good, it's good.
I'll try and see what I can find next time.
Anything up your sleeve?
No, don't do this. Don't do this to me.
I'm sorry, I could not resist.
Ooh, Traven does scurry back to the kitchen because he forgot one thing. And he's gonna come back with a glass of water and set it next to Kresic.
No.
Thank you. Don't forget therapy today. Which, by the way, therapy is cleaning up Kresic's lab. Because, it's lots of bending over and picking things
Yes.
up.
Yeah,
I'm
range of
working.
motion, of course. We all been there.
Yep. So
I'm working. Doesn't that count?
it's not therapy. Do you want to use your arm again or not?
Yeah, but does it always got to be your lab?
Gonna go to the cargo bay.
You made that lab a mess. Your therapy is cleaning it.
Okay. You know what? You saved my life. It's the least I can do, honestly.
It is.
Just like to argue a little bit. I don't know why. Just have a new thing. I like talking with you. You're nice.
He drinks his water.
As the water goes down Kressic's gullet and you set about making sure the platters are distributed, you have another guest joining you in the mess hall. Oh, I sincerely hope that the guest that you've come to know as Dirkir enters the mess hall. He is not often one to stick around, but he's walking in carrying a series of empty and, I should say, dirty dishes, which he just lets clatter on the table. The smell of today's...
Did you bring us some presents, mate? Okay, sorry.
Only for the help. And I must say that the last couple dishes were not entirely inedible. And this doesn't smell quite as bad either, he says, glancing over the way that the platters were out. Would I be correct to guess, Traven, that this is like a... what's the phrase I'm looking for? A family-style meal where the platters carry different different dishes that you can elect to serve yourself from, or did you have more specific orders for everybody?
Certain people have specific orders, like if Opry was eating, for sure he'd have a more vegetarian diet, but so far I think everybody's pretty carnivore at the table. So I probably didn't go wrong with meats.
Fair enough.
Maybe a soup.
Gotcha. The somewhat discourteous passenger of yours, or I suppose he's discourteous. He might be more courteous among Klingons, but not by the standards of the cruise lines which you used to cook for in the past. He will simply snatch up a platter and, or rather, snatch up a spare bowl on the table and begin taking his fill of the stew. This will do. Suppose at least to keep me from starving. Oh, I sincerely hope that we are in port soon. This absence of blood wine has been most displeasing.
Blood wine.
I'd say detoxifying, if anything.
Blood wine is bad for you.
Hey, time out. It's good for you. A little bit of wine's good for you. It's good for the heart, the blood.
And the soul.
Exactly.
And sadly, we're a era too early for Ractaginos.
Maybe.
So I've invented a new beverage using crushed beans. Crushed dried beans.
I might make an adventure on that. I'll tell you what. I'm going to insert a little bit of lore. There are few drinks truly worthy of warriors. Blood wine is one of them. One for more celebratory times. Which I suppose is not what I would consider riding on this. He glances and recalls what little he knows of the crew. He recalls that you were an engineer, Raldar, so he will, out of some deference for your acknowledgement of his liquid taste, he will not go so far as to offend your station. This ship of yours. But I would take something stiffer and maybe something that would render me more awake. I can say one time I was passing along through Mastercal when I found the natives there, the colonists had come up with a rather interesting drink using some plant that I could not discern whether it was native to there or whether it had come from beyond the world, from some other imperial holding, mixed with many herbs and flavorings from plants more common to the homeworld. It created a most invigorating beverage.
Can you describe the taste for me?
There were some bitter and earthy notes, but there was also a high degree of spice of sort, of richness, the sort that, if I could liken it to anything, it is like, in some ways, a warm, inviting wind across the plains of the Kether lowlands on a day where the sun rises high. And it fills one with great warmth and just an absolute invigoration, a sense of consciousness, I would say. I believe they referred to it as a Ractagino.
Do you know how to make such a beverage?
I know not the ways of the commoners of Mastercal or the Savan that work the fields. That is something I'm sure you will find on your own time, exploring the many worlds or doing whatever it is you do. Exploration.
I have a pad of star charts. I'm going to start looking for that planet.
Would you like to make the first roll of the session?
Yes, I would.
Okay, let's go for an insight and reason roll. Wait, what am I doing? Reason and con roll. I'm so sorry about that.
Trying to hurt him.
All right, character sheet is loading.
Yep. As
Let's see, insight and con,
Reason and con. Reason and con.
reason and con. Okay, got it.
yep. So for
And
anyone,
I'm assuming I can use piloting for this, probably, maybe.
I think piloting would fly. Either that or anything stellar cartography related.
Yeah. All right. You want to explain the die before I roll, or
I will
after?
do that. So Modifius uses a 2d20 system for all of their dice rolls. Essentially, you are aiming to roll 2d20s, and each of those dice you want to hit a target number, which is at or below the sum of two stats. There are attributes, which are kind of more intangible or broad qualities: fitness, reason, insight, presence, control, daring. And then there are disciplines, which are more career-oriented. So that's command, security, con for piloting, sciences, medicine, engineering. In this case, I believe Azek is aiming to go for the trying to roll dice at, what would the sum of that be?
Looks like,
If you want to just roll it, then yeah, we can.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Azek wanted to hit a sum of 13 or below because he has 8 points in insight and 5 in con. He, on that one, rolled looks like a 19 and a 1, which in this system, because rolling lower is more beneficial, 1 would actually be considered a critical success. So you have earned a total of 2 successes. I didn't give you a set difficulty, I think, there, but I will go ahead and just retroactively say that is a difficulty of 1 on that roll. So your a very quick, simple look at the map of the Klingon Empire, not pictured here. Not yet, anyway. Looking through your pad, you begin running a search through planets within the sway of the Empire. And after a little bit of searching using the keywords to identify Mastical, you notice that there is a system on what would be considered the northern frontier, as it were, if you were to imagine the Beta Quadrant as the southeast corner of the map. Something north, very well near the old Orion borderlands, or where that stretches, and into what is increasingly coming to be known as so-called Federation space. There is an agricultural colony by the name of Mastical, of a considerable populace, and maintained, I believe, by some lesser noble houses that essentially maintain security for the planet. It's definitely a little bit fringier, but it's not got the same reputation as a place like Zeth'lor or even Quote-Core for being seedy or a place where you would expect to find a great deal of rogues. It's a respectable place for respectable Klingons.
I'm gonna start charting a course from where we're supposed to, where we're going right now, to that area as kind of a report to give to Captain Tabok at some point. Kind of just mapping it out and what to avoid and what dangers and stuff are in between. I also do want to mention, because the difficulty for that was 1, we generated 2 successes, so shouldn't we gain 1 momentum for that?
You should indeed, and I was just about to ask if any among you wish to be the designated momentum officer.
Somebody's already holding 1 momentum for us.
Yes, I believe.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, Traven holding something left over from last time, which let's get rid of that. Unless Traven, you want to continue holding momentum.
I can continue holding it and make it easy.
All right, then there is your 1 momentum. As a reminder to the audience in the live stream, you can always give the players additional momentum by spending your Quatlus to help the players out with that. And if you want to
And for those wondering, we as players cannot, otherwise we generate the opposite, which is threat.
Indeed. For I am a harsh but fair GM. So goes the party line. All right. So Azek, you will set about then getting that charted. We'll resolve that for later. But looks like Dirkir is just bent on picking up some stew and turning about to leave the mess hall just as quickly as he came in, which is a kind of just a basic sauntering off with the food so that he can not be bothered by dealing with the rest of you. Would anyone like to do anything to either intercede as he leaves, or would you prefer to just let him leave and engage with something else while you are all in the mess hall together?
I'm gonna let him leave.
Fair enough. Any other thoughts? Kresic, Raldar, Woe?
I had a thought and then I lost the thought, so I'm struggling to regain the thought. Sorry.
Well, you are a cat, so...
Sir, there's no need for that kind of language.
Who brought the laser pointer?
I was just thinking that.
Sirs!
Azek puts down
Sirs!
the laser pointer.
Yeah.
Check your privilege. Get out of here.
Microaggression against the cat. I see.
Apparently so.
Klingon disruptors don't have a stun setting, but we have a laser pointer setting.
It's for
I'm gonna leave
targeting
Kitty Litter
only.
all
It's
in your
for-
shit.
It's
All
for
in your
targeting
shit.
only. Targeting only.
Now. Ray, you just need to grow some thicker skin, like Rev and Caligo.
Right.
What's that supposed to mean?
That's me attacking the scaly people.
I like how it
My
just sounded like a
skin.
compliment.
My skin is so thick, the insults bounce right off.
Yes.
Right off.
As tears begin to come through the eye shields.
I spilled water on my face. That's all.
Your eyes were thirsty. That's all it was.
They get dry underneath these contact lenses.
Look,
Wait,
it's
is
just raining.
was that technically a thirst trap then?
Kill him.
No. 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 Oh.
God damn it. Oh. Alright, setting
You're
that.
welcome.
That was
You're
good, though.
welcome.
I'm high-fiving you. It was good.
It was fun. You deserve to die, though.
True.
We can
Okay.
spend momentum to cause story things, right?
Well, you can spend momentum to create narrative advantages. That would be the, as the spend is referred to, make it so.
Oh.
But that costs, I think, 2 momentum in order to introduce.
That's too expensive for what I wanted to do.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, we'll say at this point, Dirkir has taken his stew and left the room, leaving you to enjoy, or in Woe's case, tolerate what you are eating for breakfast. Does anybody else have things they want to do here? I am not hearing anything, so I think that we should probably break from breakfast, or at least allow some characters to leave. That being said, we can visit in with those we haven't seen here, and the only one left on that end would be the ship's captain. So, Tabak, would you be up for joining us, or at least being in on another scene or another part of the ship?
All right, I am abominably late, but did I miss anything aside from them sitting down for breakfast?
Nope. We just
Mm-mm.
got things started with them here.
All right, so I stomp in with a pad in one hand, stylus, and I'm, writing stuff down.
So the
And
captain...
just sit down. Captain is busy doing captain things.
Yep. Captain will join for breakfast then. Storming in, you are met with the aroma of...
Stomping, not really storming, but yeah.
the neutral stomp as opposed to the aggressive storm.
Correct.
It's a good day today.
Yep. You come in. There are earthy, hearty smells from the food platters that Traven has laid out. As you enter, just to set the scene for you, the most senior members of your crew are here, as is Croker. Traven is in the process of bringing in other bits of food and making sure that places are appropriately set on the or at the table as people enter in. As per usual, or as has been the case since he has gotten back on his feet, as you enter the room, you see his right arm is still bound up in something of a cast that holds it. I would think probably a bit close to his body. Like, I don't think that... I don't know if Kresic went with the more low-tech option of a sling, or if there's if there's a more dynamic element, or maybe something that is meant to keep the arm a little more stiffly in place, but that's essentially what he's working with. So Traven is doing his work with the one good arm right now.
Yeah, the instructions are only to use the other arm when he's doing therapy.
Okay. Just basically put the pad down with the stylus on it, grab a bowl, and what is good, as I try to survey the platters that are on the table.
Call me biased. All of it.
Azek, what is good?
Apparently, this coffee or Rectigino.
No, on the table. What here is good? What did you like? What was tasty to you?
Really, you're gonna
you
trust
really?
the guy? You're like
No,
You're gonna
you know what?
trust the guy with that likes Hot Pockets?
No. Never mind.
I remember how you reacted last time, so that's why I wanted to warn you.
Never mind. I just find the nearest thing that's meat related and scoop some of it in my bowl and just start chowing down as I'm continuing to try to work.
It was actually the whole meal was actually quite decent. Compliments to the chef, and I raised my glass to Traven.
Yeah, I try.
It's overcooked. Probably because you only have one arm to cook with, slowing reaction times.
Kresic, if it's not moving, it's overdone for you. Am I wrong?
Perhaps.
If it's warmer than room temperature and dead, it's probably overcooked. Correct?
You don't have to be offensive about it.
I don't mean to be.
Also, that's terribly incorrect, mate. That's not how that works. See, body temperature is higher than room temperature. So, Frankly, yeah, it's good when it's a little bit hotter.
It's more refreshing when it's been chilled.
So we all have different.
Proclivities?
Sorry, player is having a loss for words. My brain is still sort of short-circuited by that amazing cheesecake.
The one that you never mind.
Yes, that one.
Don't.
Let's not discuss that in public, okay?
Nope. We are a threat-free society here. Threat-free.
Oh,
My chair is a little sticky.
Stop it!
It's okay. This will all get edited out.
stop making more work for me.
Don't you see you're doing great damage to Zach?
We all like our food at different temperatures and different donenesses.
Yes.
Anyway. So, yeah, how good is the food, by the way? Again, I just grabbed the nearest meat-related thing. How good did he roll again?
I don't believe he rolled for it, though. I guess we could always see how that went. Would you be up for a roll here, Traven?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's call this, I think, control plus science to cook for this bunch here. And I am going to spend the first threat of the season to increase your complication range by 1.
Can I use my cooking focus?
You may.
Yeah. Oh.
Apparently that is... Oh,
That's supposed to be a 2?
You may roll 2 d20s there. You only rolled 1, it seems. There you go. And with 3 successes, that is a quality meal right there. I did not assign difficulty to it. I just figured in this case that we would use it as a rough fluff measure, as it were. Which I suppose is an oxymoron there. It is for fluff, but it's just meant to be a rough measure.
Rough Fluff sounds like a gang.
I'm not going to say what it sounds like to me, but yeah.
It's that the group of shady triples. Triples with all their furs like greased back. One of them has like a spiky collar. He's got a knife.
We've all got knives.
It's just laying next to them. They can't hold shit.
Yep. They just start multiplying and drive the knives towards you.
Damn. Like one of those coin machines. Jesus Christ.
Jeez. All right. So, but yes, Tabak, I will say that at a difficulty 3, since you hadn't voiced any expression, the food so far as what Traven cooked for you is right on point. It is a hearty stew that gives you the meat that you were seeking, something that fortifies you for the day and will otherwise make you very pleased with your decision to allow the chef to A, come on board, and B, remain in that stasis tube for so long, and then C, for your doctor to run himself ragged in order to figure out how to get him back to consciousness after that unfortunate incident from episode 5 last season.
Good. And then still, going back to my notes that I'm taking. Have we any blood wine left?
What do you think? Holding up a glass of water.
Not even any of the boxes.
No.
Ah! Give me some of Pressik's fresh, clean water.
Yes, sir.
It's better for you.
Here we go.
Fine. I will not argue that fact with you, Doctor.
You want to live long enough to die in battle, no? Drink more water.
I drank plenty of water. There's plenty of water inside the blood wine. That is a joke.
There is a strange hissing noise that may be him laughing or him just hissing at you. You're not entirely sure.
Pardon me. Azek, how long before we get to port?
GM, do I need to roll for that?
I will not force you to roll. I will simply say a plot-convenient amount of time.
Plot convenient amount of time, sir.
Noted.
We'll get there when we dang well please. Gosh.
A Klingon is never late. They arrive precisely when they want to. Finish my stew, grab my pad, just walk out. I am very preoccupied.
Traven, do you have a dish for Vopri prepared?
Yes, it's in the kitchen.
If you don't mind, I'd like to take that to him.
Of course, let me go grab it for you.
Thank you.
Get it all wrapped up nice and vegetable-like.
Can you make it look like a face, like a bear face, or like a friendly? I don't know. The Earthers call it teddy bears.
My job a joke to you?
Have you seen?
No,
bears?
your artistic talent. I want you to flourish with your artistic designs. Because next week we're probably gonna need a cake at some point for our captain's birthday.
The captain's birthday next week?
I don't know when it is. We can celebrate it next week and call it good.
Canonically, the captain's birthday might be next week now.
I think the captain's birthday is definitely next week now.
All right.
I'm so glad I'm not in a room.
Oh, right, Captain. The captain did leave then with his stew?
Yeah, he finished his stew real quick, just picked up the pad and he had left.
Right. Sorry, I neglected to move your token off fast enough. I apologize. Yes.
I'll take Vopri's meal, and as I leave, register the computer, locate Vopri, and take it to him.
As the computer does not bark vocal commands back at you, there will be a display that shows you one Rantal life form that appears to be on the bridge at the moment.
Okay.
Alright, and we'll have Azek exit out of there as well. So, anyone else want to filter out of the mess hall for now?
Can Croker get a plate for Zynal and make a big show about it as he does so?
I won't shoot that down. Though I do have to ask, and this would be a question for you, Rev. Does Zynal is Zynal's dietary preferences? Did he make them well known to Traven? Does he allow others to cook for him?
Zynal has a stash of MREs that he brought with him, and that's what he's basically been eating.
Well, I'm sure that Traven
Why do
could
I always like the rat men? That's fucking awful.
I'm sure Traven could
Listen,
at
they're
least
they're
work.
they're straight from Romulus. They're straight from Romulus. Okay.
Romulan MREs. Okay.
Yes.
So they're definitely none of the above. They're not
taste of
M,
home.
not R, not E.
A taste of home.
Yep.
Ooh.
I'm sure that Traven, while he does, well, you wouldn't necessarily know Zional's preferences. You can grab at least some of whatever you have around, and hopefully he will receive it well. For whatever type of stew you made, based on that roll, it is the best version of that stew possible.
I honestly feel like Zynal and Traven still haven't actually met
Probably
this whole
not.
time,
You,
which
small
will
as-
make their eventual interaction interesting.
Yes, small as this ship is, people still manage to avoid each other sometimes.
And Zynal is more nocturnal, anyways.
Yes, fair enough.
He
So,
likes to be up and
We're
about
on,
when
a,
no one else is.
we're on a spaceship. It's always night outside.
That's true. But he likes being around in the shifts where no one else is awake.
yes.
Not in a creepy way. But kind of in a creepy way. But kind of in a creepy way.
No, not in a creepy way at all. You know, he just will walk up to you one day and say, "You should stop drooling in your sleep."
Exactly.
So,
Sleep on your
Or
side.
your hair smells better when you're sleeping.
ugh. Anyway, yeah, Traven, you whip up, you manage to get some of what you have on hand for breakfast, and in a stable enough container that Croker can make their big flourish as they take it from you and head on out the door.
Ah, yes. Food for the love of my life, he yells as he walks up the door past the captain.
For who? You know what? I don't get paid enough.
You don't get paid at all.
None of us get paid enough.
None of you actually get paid. But I'm not there.
No, nobody has properly been paid as of yet. But that will hopefully change when you reach Zeth'lor. Anyway, with all of that, anyone else looking to filter out of the room? Kresic, Raldar, Woe, Traven?
Kresic is going to finish eating, finish drinking his cool, clean water. Stand up, go to walk out, and he just pushes a pad toward where Woe is sitting at, which I can't see because I can't see anything because Roll 20 is broken. But
We're sitting like
You were sitting across
diagonally.
from each other.
opposite
Excellent.
sides.
Yeah, but
Excellent.
we could have either Kresic push it over diagonally, or because she's in a seat near the door, we could say that as you rounded the table and headed toward the door, you could set it down on an end of the table and slide it her way from there.
that works perfectly. Which just has... which cargo bay is free right now? Which one doesn't have Junior in it?
I think that the cargo bays in the lowest deck, I believe deck 5 should be open right now.
Oh yeah, there's two. Again, the whole ship is split down the middle by that
Right.
big corridor. So,
Yeah. So it's
there's
on
one on either
these-
side.
Yeah, it's on the subdeck. I think that Junior, or Dar, as some refer to him, I think that we might have actually stuck him... I feel like we just decided there was a smaller secondary compartment in one of the upper decks where he has been placed. Since
Okay.
the main cargo space was it's deemed as too valuable to be kept that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we closeted that man.
so to speak.
It just says Cargo Bay 1 at your leisure. That's all it says on it. And he doesn't acknowledge it. He
Well-
just drops it off and walks away.
Yeah, in the subdeck. Sorry to interrupt. In the subdeck,
Yeah.
there are technically, there's just the two cargo bays in the subdeck. One on port, one on starboard. There are two other ones on the main deck, also port and starboard.
Whichever one Cargo Bay 1 is, that's the one.
Yeah.
And he just walks out.
Okay. Woe's gonna feign indifference while he's within eyesight, and then as soon as he's out of the room, she snatches it up and reads it. It's just, all right, fine. And then she stands up and paces a little bit before heading out of the mess hall.
Okay. So that'll. With that, with the Kizinti and the Gorn doctor leaving the room, one after the other, Traven, you find a number of plates to clean up, including the fresh plates left by the rest of your crew, the assemblage of dishes that Darkir, your passenger, had left behind. And of course, you see at the far end of the table, the ship's chief engineer, the being that shares the face with that other one, the one who left you so grievously injured. Raldar is your only other company at present.
Fiddling with stuff because I had to fix something all the time on this trash heap.
So, Raldar, will you leave him alone then, and quickly, politely finishing up your own breakfast?
Yes.
All right. Then, Traven, you are not left to ponder any of the issues with that, and Raldar will lumber his way.
Raldar, wait.
Yes.
Can you help me with the dishes, please?
Sure.
I'll owe you one.
All right, sure.
Thank you.
Within you, Traven, you feel a bit of warmth, and for whatever anxiety might haunt you, you do feel a sense of encouragement, as if to say, "Nicely done, my dear boy." As you and the ship's engineer begin to pull together the refuse from the last meal. So, with that, I think that we've spent enough time in the mess hall. Let's move this around to a different part of the ship. I know we have a couple scenes that were meant to be done here, so I've got one for Woe and Kresic. I also, noting where we were, or like from where we left off, Azek was going to see Vopri, Croker was going to see Zional. Would anyone else like to add something to that list? Captain, anything that you would want? Traven,
Which
anything
list?
else you want?
Oh.
Yeah.
Which list?
Basically, I am bearing in mind scenes that we would want to go through for the rest of the session. Before we get to Zeth'lor, anyway.
I don't think I had anything else in mind before we got there. and
Okay.
got the money.
Fair enough.
Zynal wants to talk with the captain if he can get a moment.
Okay,
Yes, that did come
sure.
to.
He's
Go
either in his office or in his quarters.
Okay.
I like the idea of. We'll have to work out how to sequence that, because I like the idea of maybe Zional going to speak to the captain, or if the invitation was for the captain to go speak to Zional. I like the idea of Croker being around there and maybe the captain punctuating that scene.
Zynal knows not to ask a captain to come to him. He comes to the captain. The captain has that position for a reason.
Fair enough. Well, in this case, a well-timed disruptor shot to the back of the previous captain, and a blade stabbed under the previous captain's, through his gut, basically.
As I said, good reason.
Yes. Let's see. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, Caligo. Did you want Raldar to have a scene with the captain as well, or did you have anything else specifically in mind?
Specifically at this moment, no.
Okay. Well, if anything changes on that front, please let me know, and we will be sure to get to that. For now, unless anybody has a strong preference, I think I'd like to take us up to the bridge and run the scene with Azek and Vopri, if everybody's okay with that.
Sweet.
I'm always okay for Vopri scenes.
Very good.
They are entertaining.
Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and move up to the bridge. It is presently sparsely manned. When not in a combat situation, bridge controls are mostly confined to someone monitoring the piloting stations and the communications and sensors arrays. That is momentarily left Bahan and Vopri as the lone figures on the bridge when you arrive, Azek.
Dahan is the new co-pilot that we got, right?
Yes, Bahan was a Nausicaan man that you picked up back on Zeth'lor, partly to dry out from what was a very extensive consumption of blood wine. But he's part of the reason why your supplies have narrowed as much as they have, if not been completely exhausted. So far as you know about him, he was previously an officer, possibly a captain on another ship of an independent persuasion, and that ship, along with several others, have been lost previously. He claims to have had an encounter with what sounds like some sort of cosmozoa, and one clever enough to effectively destroy his ship or lead it into traps. You're not entirely clear on the details, but in each case, that is what has happened. I will say, there is one other figure on the bridge. Dakoth, the captain's bodyguard and sort of a secondary tactical officer in training, is also present.
Is anybody sitting in the captain's chair?
I don't have the token out, but I can only imagine Cheshire is presently around, the captain's cat.
Gotcha.
Does a strange
That's a
creature
big-
from a distant
it-
world. Or
For anybody new, the captain's cat is a massive Norwegian forest cat. His family breeds them.
I'll take the dinner over to, or the meal over to Vopri, and let him know that if he needs to excuse himself to eat, he's more than welcome to. I think we can handle things for a little bit while he goes and eats in peace, because I know with the mask and stuff can be tricky.
Mask?
Doesn't he have a helmet?
No.
I thought he had an encounter suit thing. Vopri did.
I do not have a encounter suit. I am.
Oh, sorry.
Vopri is a very small. He is a very small individual. Scarcely like coming up at maybe about in the upper 4 foot, lower 5 foot range, and of a at least if he were like if he were to allow himself to stretch to his proper height, but he more often seems to cower in place, or he at least hunches a fair bit. More so in the presence of most of the Klingon crew, and sometimes at some points with the just generally larger, threatening members of the crew, which, even if they are not so in temperament, Gorn and Kazinti are not the easiest people for him to stay calm around. I don't know that Vopri seems particularly at ease with anyone, although, for your part, Azek, you've probably done the most to make some inroads with him. As you bring him some food, he slightly lifts his head from the console as he drags over the food and situates himself to where it's at minimal risk of spilling.
And then I'll walk over to the helm. And what's the status report?
As Bahan is presently not assigned to a player at the moment, that is to say, I could either NPC him or Traven could take over. I'll allow Vopri the moment to interject. I am preparing a pre-approach scan. We shall be in the Zeth'lor system soon. Already there are few signs of warp signatures in the area, I would say. Numerous craft about, as much traffic as we would expect from the port.
Very good. I'll look at the Nausicaan and say piloting on a empty stomach is ill-advised, so get the hell out of my chair.
Ain't gonna tell me twice. All yours.
Thank you.
Bahan stands aside and allows you to man the helm.
Nausicaans are taller than Klingons, aren't they?
It kind of depends. Nausicaans are generally on the taller side, but some Klingons can be built fairly tall themselves.
Okay.
In this case, he might slightly he might slightly have a few hairs on you, but he's not one of the. He's certainly not in the same league as the Gorn or the Woe.
When I sit down, I'll make sure that we're still on course, where we're supposed to be.
Yep. You are indeed, based on the look at your navigational sensors. You are presently cruising along at a modest warp pace, set to reach the Zeth'lor star system in a reasonable amount of time. This time, you are certain with the navigational sensors tweaked so that you will not inadvertently run into any ships that are in orbit.
Or any planets.
Yep. You got that bug taken care of the last time.
When I get the actual time that it takes, I'll kind of do an all broadcast just to let people know. Attention, crew of the Yawn. We will be arriving in the allotted time. So, just to let folks know.
I hit the little button on my desk and go, acknowledged, I will be on the bridge shortly. And head to the bridge. The, 100 yards I gotta go to get to the bridge.
Yep. You realize you have some
Pardon
time,
me,
so we're
100 meters.
we're going to allow you some time to get to your paperwork as you to finish up the paperwork you were doing before we have you join in there. But Vopri, for his part, after finishing some of the food, these vegetables are a tad more blanched than usual.
Yeah, the meat was solid, but I think Traven's going through a lot right now, so we kind of have to give him just a little bit of leeway to get him back to back up to the old cook that we know and love.
You are like the kindliest Klingon ever.
Thank you. I try to be.
As Vopri spoons through some of his meal, I should hope so. Thankfully, he remains in the captain's good graces. Many a ship, many a Klingon commander would have been much harsher, much sooner. But I suppose this is not that ship. Or a ship like it.
Well, you have nothing to worry here, I think.
Vopri lifts his head and just stares a bit pensively into his display, the yellows and oranges of the console glowing into his otherwise sinewy white face. And I'll just pause for a moment before returning to his work and intermittent bites of his meal as he goes. And with that, unless anyone else would really like to be involved in the bridge scene, I think that we'll leave that there for now. And let's see. Let's see. I guess the captain would be about to move to the bridge, so let us momentarily go into the theater of the mind, because I don't have the appropriate bridge office, or rather the appropriate office set yet. So I think what we'll do, let's go ahead and have the have that one meeting that somebody requested with the captain. All good to go, Rev?
Hello, yes, hello.
Okay, very good.
I am good to go.
All right, so we'll have that little meeting that you requested. Captain, finishing the last bits of your paperwork, you are about to set out from your office, and you set aside whatever pad you have, unless you have other work that needs taken with you. You begin walking out of the office, and as the door opens in the dimly lit corridor, as expected with any Klingon ship, you see you are not alone for skulking in the... well, not exactly skulking in the shadows, but certainly in a particularly darkened part of corridor near a bulkhead. Slips from around it I don't know quite the qualities to describe your new quartermaster, or the quartermaster.
Great guy.
Yes. That.
All around upstanding citizen.
Yep, definitely. The man who...
Lochne.
Ah, Captain. Just the person I was looking for. So I was doing some bookwork. Exactly how much are we getting paid for these jobs?
Sufficient? Why?
It's just, I'm sure it was sufficient before we had to fight Klingon vessels and hide in nebulas and nearly get blown up, but I'm concerned that it may not cover the additional repairs needed after our unfortunate events.
The price has already been agreed upon. To demand more, there's no honor in that.
Perhaps
It
not.
would be an insult.
Insulting is that they didn't tell us that there was going to be entire Klingon death squads coming after this Drakir folk. You don't find that even a little more hazardous than they were promising us?
Promising? You're using strong words. There were no promises made, aside from mine to retrieve him for the price given. I will have words for them concerning what we went up against.
I'm just saying, a little bit of strongly worded convincing can go a long way to balancing the scales.
I will consider it.
Of course. You are the captain, after all.
Was there
Your
anything
ship, your
else?
crew. Just... No. Nothing for now. Have a good day, Captain.
Certainly. I'm on my
And
way to the bridge. Where are you going?
He is just going to stand there and watch you head off. Shrug his shoulders. Well, it was worth a try. And slink back off to his quarters.
Before you slink away from the captain, can Croker walk in real quick?
Of course.
Yes. For
Okay.
As you turn down the other... to go the opposite direction, Zional, you realize that you are not alone. Slithering out from some dark corner from another part of the bulkhead
Goodness.
is a different...
gracious me. You are...
Croker. No.
Crocker.
Croker, darling.
anything-
And with that, he leans forward.
Are you okay? Did you have too much of that blood wine?
No. I'm, how do you say it? Straight edge. But that's the only straight thing about me. And he leans sideways against the wall panel, kind of slips a little bit, and quickly rights himself, trying to look cool. I see you two have taken an interest into our captain.
He's my ticket to financial stability, I hope. Who wouldn't be interested in maintaining good relations with him?
Oh my god, okay. Sorry, that was just so well worded. You sound like such a gold digger. God damn. Okay. I see we have similar preferences. But let me tell you, that minx is more than just a meal ticket.
No, he's precisely
He
this meal
is.
ticket.
Is that all you're looking for? In,
My dear Crocker.
Croker. Please.
Yes, whatever. You see, I haven't made it this far by myself by relying on other people to do more than provide me exactly what I need. And right now, what I need is a set of impulse engines, a cargo hold, and enough Darsex in that cargo hold to keep me happy for a very long time.
Croker tilts his head, thinking on this. Okay, then. That can be arranged. I look forward to seeing you again.
I'm listening.
No, he's pretty fucked off. He is plotting. He is gone. You just hear an argument. You don't have any Darsex, honey. This is not gonna... Shut up, shut up, shut up.
Did Croker give Zion all the food that he'd brought to him originally, or that he'd made a big show of getting?
He did make a big show of getting it. I don't think he actually made it there with it. That didn't happen.
It's just a bowl of cold stew somewhere now.
Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of cold bowls of stew around the ship.
Fair.
Croker walks off. Zional is just confused by that for a moment. He's like,
Man, I'm hungry.
Oh no. Okay.
and then he gets ready to head back to his quarters, but shrugs and decides to head to the bridge instead.
The bridge, was that the bridge or the brig?
The bridge.
Bridge. Gotcha. So we will rejoin Zional in a bit, but I think I do recall one other thing that we were plotting, and this will give the two of you a break between scenes that you have to do. Get a moment to acquaint yourselves with other characters. But it will not take us away from the theater of the mind, where elsewhere, I think in a compartment on the main deck, Raldar, I do recall a little something about table manners, or at the very least, efforts at education. Would you be game for that?
Oh yeah. Always.
Yes. So, tell us, as you came into the compartment today, did you bring anything for for Dar, or how did you come equipped today?
Bring in a box of assorted items, everyday items. Cups, data pads, knives, the usual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My boy. You're gonna learn how to talk right.
Cringe.
Who taught you that word?
You can't make out half the things he's saying these days. In any case, the large, heavily, it would be wrong to say that he is heavily muscled. It looks almost as if he's been inflated or blown up in a sense to exaggerate things, but this is just very much the results of the genetic engineering that god-awful ship from last year. Again, impacts of episode 5 of season 1 for those that want to check out the archives. But yes, this tall, just bulky clone of you, Raldar, still has left much to be desired in terms of interactions with polite society, which I'm sure is the bent of your current mission. But
Oh yeah.
Dar will rise from its corner opposite the wall and begin to close the distance a little bit with you. Correct me if I am wrong, but this creature is still chained to the opposite end of the deck, are they not?
I'm fairly certain we've unchained him by this point.
Oh. Then he's been conditioned sufficiently to stay on his end of the brig. Or the compartment, we'll just say. He closes towards you, hunched over, but claws not raised in any threat. Jaw closed with the slightest of rumbles, something that you've come to know as just a passive stance or just waiting to see what you do next.
All right. Wait, I'm gonna teach you the the common words you need to learn. You need to learn how to speak good so you can be more helpful to your family. Our family. Which, if you do good with your family, that means you'll get plenty of meat.
Loot.
We can get loot too. Now. Yes?
Oh. The corners of its jaws pull back slightly, and you gather that it is that slight impulse is the precursor to a slight but still terrifying smile because it just betrays the sense of teeth. We're also going to say by this point you've come to know that such that any word similar to loot comes up, he's thinking about food.
I see.
If it is indeed that word, it's very hard to tell.
And if you show good progress, you will be rewarded. I will make a proper warrior of you yet.
Ah, law.
Yes, yes, the laws of the house. We will get to that. I don't think you're ready.
He's
dead.
just no. He's going to like open his jaw and fleck his tongue a little bit and start sniffing around the air.
We're also going to need to teach you how to eat less messily. This is a cup. This is what you are supposed to drink out of, not the bucket we usually leave.
Let's stretch both claws to grasp in your general direction as you hold up the cup.
I put it in his hand.
He's going to take it and
I put the cup.
he's going to take the cup and immediately overturn it. Did the cup have any liquid or food in it?
It had water.
The water is. Let's roll for Dar here. I don't recall if anyone else has. Let's see, supporting characters. Would you like to roll for Dar, or would you like me to do that here?
I can roll for him if you want.
Okay. Just to be funny, I am spending a point of threat to increase his complication range, and if you are willing to play with me on this, let's say that buys an increase of 2, because I love the idea of the water, just risk of water, basically.
So this is a difficulty 2, complication range 2?
I was actually... my intention was to say... difficulty, or rather the complication range would go up to 3 in this case, since we just have the natural narrative slice of Dar not being the brightest boy yet. But the difficulty on this task will be
fine.
1.
What's the what stats we doing? Is this like control or something?
I think, yes, control and...
Insight?
Well, that'd be another attribute. I think command might make more sense for the social graces that we're trying to show.
All right. As expected.
Yes. So there is 1 success and a complication on the board. Since you did technically roll, I will allow you to decide. Do you wish for that to be a narrative complication? Do you wish to return the GM to threat to buy it off? Or would you prefer to... Well, actually, you don't have the momentum to spend on that, so...
Of course, I'm going to spin. Of course, I'm going to take the narrative
Very good.
complication.
Because it is funny. Very good.
Yeah.
So some of the water, as he empties the cup above him, will actually go into his jaw, but he did it so rashly that some of the water will go up Dar's snout, some of it will drip down to his eyes, and he will not be happy as he begins to growl and shake the cup around and then throw it against the wall.
It is no different from the bucket. It's just smaller.
Dar
Fill it up and try again.
goes over and picks up the emptied cup as he brings it your way. He takes very furtive steps as he nears you with the cup, himself hunched over. He holds it up, and then he places it in his mouth, just beginning to bite at it.
No. You eat meat. You don't eat the things you put the meat on or in.
He spits it out in your general direction. It lands slightly wet, either from the glass of water or from his drool, at your feet.
You know what? It's progress. He didn't destroy it.
You say that as you start pouring water in, a tooth hole about midway up lets some of it leak onto the deck below.
I'll fix it later.
All right.
Try drinking like this. Take a sip, Now you do it.
And I imagine this will go back and forth for a little while as you go through a few variants where I'm sure that he will at times try to lap it with his tongue. Other times he'll just try to bring the cup very forcefully up to his face without necessarily turning it directly over him. But that will still just continue to splash him in the face. About the closest as he will get will be something decidedly more what you would expect to see Kresic do near the end of it. Just the simple pouring it down his gullet as he would most foods or other things. Not a lot of chewing there, if memory serves.
All right.
Well.
You know what? That's progress. That's progress. You get a reward.
Cool.
Not a word. I grab another container, pop it open. It's raw meat, and I offer it out to him.
Oh, and the camera cuts away before anyone can see the gory, discretionary shots of viscera and whatnot moving forward. I will just leave you to imagine that bloody mess.
It's like the cow from Starship Troopers.
Yep.
They just slap the bar over it, but you still see something. You know what's happening.
Oh. Yep. Okay. So, with all of that going here, as Raldar instructs his somewhat modified duplicate in the art of table manners, elsewhere around the ship there is a more, I imagine, another more delicate matter in progress. And for that, if once again, Ray and Rev, if the two of you are ready, we can have the scene that you wanted with Kresic and Woe.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Just to clarify, we wanted this in the cargo bay and not the sick bay. Was that correct?
Correct.
Cargo bay, yes.
Fair enough. We will debut the refitted sick bay another day.
Oh,
Anyway,
cool.
yes, I'll show you guys after. Let's see. So, whoa. The camera will follow you first as you take the lift down to the subdeck, and hunching over, as you often have to do, through the different doors in this ship, you stride down the corridor towards the appropriately labeled cargo bay. Go ahead, please.
I was going to say, as she gets to the door, she has to stop and do a big inhale. And you see her just kind of clench her fists and do a little shake before walking in the door. All false confidence.
I presume
You wanted to see me? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I just presume there's not the usual kick on the door.
No, it is actually absent. I didn't even think of that.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so you cross through the threshold of the cargo bay, and sure enough, how is Kresic situated in the room?
There is some sort of like equivalent of a like punching bag or some other leather bound filled with stuffing thing there. And Kressig is doing a very traditional old Gorn fighting style. The name of it has too many S's and Z's to really translate, but essentially it kind of translates to torpor brawling. It's more of a sport like sumo wrestling or something. It looks very slow to the outside observer. But the Gorn, they sometimes use it when they want to give their opponents a semblance of a fair fight. They want to make the soft skins feel like they at least, almost won. So it's a very slow, methodical, sportsmanlike, gentlemanly fighting style.
I see. I see.
AKA why the fight in the original series looks so slow and rubbery.
Lore drops, everybody.
Lore drops.
Lord.
Lord
Connecting it all.
drops.
We're connecting it all.
Yep.
Data would be so proud.
And it's probably something that, because he's had to put Woe together again a few times, he's probably practiced this sort of, again, therapy. He's really good at coming up with inventive therapies with Woe in the past. So the door opens, he's there, and he just doesn't look. He says, "Come in."
She suddenly feels very small and she walks in just slightly hunched forward. Confidence, false as it is, totally gone.
Do you
Where do
remember
you,
this?
she she watches you for a bit. Well, it's slow and boring, so yeah, I do. She kind of tilts her head. She's not looking directly at him, but she side-eyes him. This is what you called me to do. Watch you move at a third of the speed of a dead body.
You are upset.
Yeah, yeah, I am. What clues you in?
Destroyed transporter.
Oh, is that all? Is that all it takes? She kind of looks away and then looks back. I'm sorry about that. The alternative was punching you in the face, and I didn't want to punch you in the face.
And that's why you're here.
She looks him dead on. Alright. Show me them moves, old man.
He is going to take a nice, slow, calculated swing at her.
Oh, she lunges back suddenly, completely overreacts. Don't touch me!
Or what?
Just don't touch me. And she walks back again. I don't like being hit. I don't like hitting.
You're
I'm
good at
good
it.
at it. Yes. But I don't like it. It makes me feel bad. And then she turns away and you kinda... Everything makes me feel bad. All the time. I can't keep doing this.
Keep doing what?
Feeling. You hated me and I felt it. I don't want to feel anything anymore.
Whoa. I'm going to say this once. I have lived longer than you ever will. And if the gods hate me enough, I will continue to live long after you are but a pleasant memory. So do not presume to tell me what I feel.
See, there's a scoff. Okay. Okay. Whatever you say. Pleasant, huh? Yeah, alright. What?
You
She pinches it. Finally, she looks you dead on. Why did you want to kill it? The clone.
you I will answer a different question.
Say it again, I'm sorry, it cut out.
I'll answer a different question. Why didn't
Why?
I kill it? You know I could have.
I didn't think you...
Staring it down. The gun was in my hands, Will, but I didn't. Do you want to know why?
She nods.
Do you have any children, Will?
No. I don't think I ever will.
I did. I had a daughter. Well, more than that. She was the smallest of the clutch. You see, Gorn tradition does not allow us to interfere with the hatch. You can imagine what usually happens to the last or smallest. I couldn't do a thing.
But if I could have, I would have. Not that she needed it. As she tore the throat out of her final older sibling, I reached down to collect my daughter. She bit me, tore off half a digit.
I thought your plant did that. Feisty little fucker.
They share some things in common. She tore off half a digit, but I didn't blame her. The only thing that I saw in her eyes was terror and a desire to live. That's the same thing I saw in it. It's the same thing I saw the first time you showed up on Grotacor with a broken leg, was it?
It was maybe. Hard to keep count. Terror is a bit extreme. I wasn't terrified. I was mildly inconvenienced.
You think I didn't know what you were the moment you were on my operating table?
She leans forward. How could you have?
Have lived longer, experienced more, suffered more, and killed hundreds of millions more than you could possibly imagine. Whoa. I know what a monster is.
No, we're just a pair, aren't we? It's not exactly what she wanted to say, but she's just reeling from hundreds of thousands. She reaches out briefly, like she wants to touch you, but then immediately pulls back. All right. Don't hit me. But tell me what you're gonna do so I can prepare. I know you're broadcasting from thousands of miles away with those moves, but still. Don't hit me.
All right. Hit me.
I just told you I don't like hitting people.
Well, one way or another. Fine.
Shit. I'm so sorry. I put myself on mute. Uh, just as he started to say one way or another, I was gonna have her punch him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yes. Can I roll to do that?
Yep.
You may roll a daring and security roll. Would I be correct, Rev, from your intent with the role play to not contest, or would you like
I am
to?
not contesting. I am not contesting.
Then, Ray, you may roll daring and security with a difficulty of 1.
Alright. Why is there that many dice? I didn't do this. Let me hang on. Jesus
My God.
Christ.
Killing Ray.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that is...
I'm sorry.
Yep, that would be 1 success and a natural 20 on the board there.
Woo!
So you succeed.
Give me some narrative complication. Let her break her wrist.
Oh boy. You know, I'm not sure how I want to assign this, so let me ask the person who is about to get hit. Do you have any insights on what you would like to do with that complication, Rev?
What was the dice result? Because I can't see it.
Okay, so she
Oh,
scored
it's one and a
success.
complication.
Yep, so she did technically hit Kresic. The question is, what narrative complication comes from that?
You hit him across the face, and it shatters one of his contacts.
Oh my god, that's not. Oh, she's gonna feel awful about this. All right. Oh shit! I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I thought you were gonna block.
And why would I stop my patients from healing? I am a doctor. And I always give my patients the care that they deserve.
You're a loony. This isn't healthy at all. This is not.
I don't recall ever saying I was healthy. I've said I was the best.
Query on this.
Roll. Yeah.
As Woe has managed to damage one of the eye shields, is it enough for her to be able to get a look into the one eye? Is it sufficiently exposed, Rev? Would you say?
I would say so. Say so.
Then can you describe, as she looks into you with undoubtedly some incredulity, give us an impression of the eye that looks back at her, and what look
It
might.
is a reptilian eye that stares back, and you see scarring all along the socket. At first, you're not entirely sure. If you have some medical knowledge, it looks like either some sort of large needles, either injections or tissue samples directly taken from the ocular region. But his whole ocular lobe is just has all of these scars all along it.
For fuck's sake, Chris. And as she's talking, she moves without thinking and pulls the what's left of your shield off of your eye. Oh, you fucking crazy bastard. Alright, come on. I want to roll to try and pick him up and carry him out of the room.
Oh boy.
I'm going to resist that.
Okay.
Huh?
I think that, this would, So my inclination would have been to say fitness, but resisting, I'm wondering if daring is appropriate. I suppose technically this is raw, like, strength on strength roll here, so you could use your fitness to resist, so we could make it a contested roll that way.
I will. And I will use emergency medicine. No, I'll use personal combat as my focus.
Paranormal phenomena it is.
Let's see.
So I think I got 2 successes. Is that correct?
Let me check that there, just because the sheet.
Every time I roll on this app, it says I get an 11. So
yes. Let me take a closer look. It does look as though you are scoring 2 successes. Also,
Okay.
I am sorry if I had forgotten about that. Let's see. Let me take a closer look at this.
I also got 2 successes.
Let's see. That it was actually a 9 and an 8 on your dice there, so that would be 2 successes there. Then, yeah. Kressik's definitely fighting you on this one, but I do think technically, since you have the initiative here, you do manage to at least inch him up a little bit there. Whoa. I don't know how you were going about, how you're trying to go about carrying Kressik here.
Have you ever like tried to carry a really large dog? And, like the whole bottoms don't move, but they're just kind of flopping. That's kind of what I'm imagining is happening here.
Whoa,
His arms are pinned.
Whoa,
No,
if
listen,
you pick me up, I will bite you.
Well, I think that'd make us equals pequals, wouldn't it? And she continues. She starts to walk towards, like, she starts to walk because her plan is to take you to bed. Like, you are so goddamn ridiculous. She's putting you directly to bed and maybe putting an ice pack on your eye. Let's see. Let's see if you want to bite me. Go for it.
All right, I will.
By the way, I
Fitness and
am wearing
security,
shoulder
2
pads,
dice.
so get through them.
Fitness and security, 2 dice.
Daring
Yeah,
plus
but you've got
security.
him tossed over one shoulder, right? He can bite you in the ass.
No. I'm carrying him like a large dog, which is like, I've got his arms pinned, or like, okay. Imagine his hands are down by his side. He kind of is like looking like a penguin. My arms are wrapped around and I'm carrying him, and his legs are kind of dangling.
I
I'm
did
sure
get
his tail is
the.
beating the ever loving shit out of me.
I don't have a tail.
I thought you had a tail.
Gorn don't have tails.
Gorn do not have tails.
Oh, that's bullshit.
No, they don't.
Dare you? I was imagining a tail situation this whole time. Wow, this is sad for me. Okay, I feel
So you
like
get 1
I
success.
should get. How do I contest this? Is this contestable?
You may roll daring and security, if you so wish. Although the one thing I'm actually thinking about right now is, given that the way that you've described him, it sounds like. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you have Kressik facing out and away from you? Like, what is his angle of potentially having the jaw approach if he's going for a bite?
I've got him from behind, so I am carrying him. His face is forward. He would have to turn his head and bite whatever arm or shoulder meat is available.
Okay.
He could do it.
Yes.
I don't think I won't.
Yeah.
I'm fine with this.
Since your arms are a little full, I don't
Okay.
know that. Yeah, contesting would be difficult. I suppose, if you rolled daring and security, you could try to like treat this as a grapple in a sense. You could try to shift him away from you a little bit.
Okay, you know what? Never mind on the contesting. He can bite me. I just want to keep carrying him. So whatever it takes for me to not drop him, I'm just going to carry the bitch.
Well, so long as you don't take an injury on this, that should be probable. And since you do have a shoulder pad, you do have some resistance to this. Let's see, Doctor, have we given you a bite?
No, he's
Also
never given
have-
me a bite. I've just been using my unarmed.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
Oh,
You're not going for something so vicious.
I got 2+ resistance on non-lethal attacks. You ain't biting shit.
Who said I was going for none? Just kidding.
Nope. Okay, so rolling damage on that unarmed strike, you get, that would be 3 effects and 3 additional, an additional 3 points of stress for a total of 6. 2 of those
So
are
technically, melee attacks have knockdown
they do.
as their effect.
Yeah, that might actually be enough to not.
So I would like to say drop me as the effect.
I'll give
Not
you.
actually knockdown.
Tell you what, I'll give you the choice, Woe. So this is not going to do enough to actually cause you an injury. Let us just get that straight. As Kresic somewhat improbably is able to lunge his jaw backwards and like into your shoulder. The armor that you have is going to help take some of this. The nature of your bone structure as a Kzinti is going to help you deal with the remaining recoil. However, those knockdown effects do come into play. So one of two things will happen. Either that is enough for you to basically get your arm just kind of out of position and cause you to drop him so that he is prone, or he will knock into you with such force that he will knock you prone in the process, or cause you to lose your footing, which will send both of you to the ground.
That sounds funnier.
Oh. I'm fine. I'm not letting go, so I guess he's just gonna fall on top of me.
Yep,
This is what's happening.
yep.
So
With that, yeah, the ferocity of the lunge and bite as the teeth tries to get around the bits of armor is a bit shocking. That and the force of him managing to move his not considerable size and mass to like shift against you in such a way winds up completely knocking you off your balance and sends you both tumbling backwards. You still maintain your grasp on him, but he is he's landed some bites, nothing that have broken through the armor, but he's in a position as such to where I'm sure his mildly agitated and still exposed eye from the blow is like giving you a dirty look, as if to say, "I am not okay with this."
Let me go. I have legs. I can walk.
you feel a deep rumble and vibration underneath you against your back. And then you realize he's really trying so hard not to laugh directly into your face. Oh, Doctor, is this how you treat all your patients?
Well, I have
Ugh.
Traven cleaning my entire sick bay right now.
Yeah,
That's therapy.
yeah. Don't think I didn't notice that little sleight of hand for the man with one. See, let's go, but kind of leans up on her shoulders. Now listen, you don't sleep enough. You're on something. I can smell it on you. You need rest.
You try keeping this crew from spontaneously exploding into viscera every 5 minutes.
He looks at him and says, "Alright, I will. Now go to bed."
I just have to interrupt with a door opening near the cargo hold as Kelshaw's pulling out some diagnostic equipment, and when she sees the two of you on the ground, it's like, Goicha, I was not ready for today. I'll be elsewhere.
Yes, we're very busy people right now.
She makes an immediate about
Avert
face.
your eyes!
I really do hate you sometimes, Will.
You love me.
Fine. Let's get this over with. I have work to do.
Yes, watching Traven clean your whole room must be very, very tiresome. Must make you really, really thirsty for some clean water.
It's not quite as invigorating as increasing the number of broken ribs every time a patient complains, but
Are we still doing
it does
that?
the job.
Alright,
Only
make
when
me a
they're
note of
actually
how many
broken.
ribs. Oh. Well, make me a note of how many ribs the teacher's pet is. Forget his name. The one on the bridge right now. Not
Vopri?
the no, not vote. When would she's insulted on behalf of Opry? How dare you?
I wouldn't let him get any ribs broken. He couldn't handle it. He would probably die.
He very well could. Quit stalling. Go
He's
to bed.
very weak.
You go to bed.
Fine.
Are they still on the ground?
He's
Until-
getting up.
Yep. Kresic begins to rise from the floor. And
Okay. Rising from the floor. When you said he was getting up, I was getting nervous.
No.
Ugh.
Shut up. Oh my god. Why? Now listen, there's time and place.
Woe doesn't have enough brain cells. He's not interested.
How dare
No
you?
offense, Wo.
All the offense. I'm leaving.
Yep. Woe gets up and leaves and just walks out of the airlock.
Yeah, bye.
Oh. But no, I was content to just leave the insinuation as far as Kel'Shah just coming in.
I am always willing to step beyond the line of good taste.
Of course.
It's just-
Of course.
it's
Somebody
just-
has to.
It's just me.
Somebody has to.
Yeah. Anyway, yep. So, well, you are left alone on the floor as well. The doctor gets up and he is starting to lumber out of the cargo bay. Any parting words amongst the two of you, or do you just want to leave it at go to bed?
She stopped. She calls out, Kresic.
I thought I was supposed to go to bed.
You are. But despite all your meandering old man bluster, you're not a monster. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
No one has to tell me what I am.
And he walks away. Hobbles on away to bed.
So,
Finally. Goddamn. I'm gonna hop off for a minute.
okay. And so I think we're getting to the point in the evening where we should wind down. So I figure that when we do end off, I would put us on the bridge, but we still have time, I think, for another scene or two before that, if it came to it. Does anybody want want one more scene before we wrap for the evening?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Anybody else there? Raldar, Azek, Traven, anything of the sort?
I think I am good for now.
All right. Well, hearing nothing else, and it does occur to me that Woe sent Kresic to bed in what is technically the morning on this ship. Or by the standard time that you've got. I guess he's entitled to a nap, if he takes it. In any case, some plot-convenient amount of time wherein these scenes have resolved and people have had moments to themselves will have cut along the route, and that will leave us back on the... that will take us back to the bridge, where, Captain, you... much earlier in the day, of course, had arrived on the bridge after your strange encounter with Zionol. Actually, yeah, that is the one thing, because Zionol himself does come to the bridge too.
Yeah, he shows up a few minutes later.
Yes, so we can pick up there. Tabak, you've gotten a status report from Vopri, essentially telling you that he's beginning his pre-approach scan for Zeth'lor, and the remaining crew is kind of getting situated. Dakoth is at tactical. I'm sure he gives you a salute. Azek is at the helm. Bahan might have passed you by on his way to the mess. And a few minutes after you get settled in, the door to the bridge opens, and in walks Zionel. So,
It's a good thing Klingon eyebrows are not really flexible, because otherwise his would rise up over the back of his head.
I don't know anyone's eyebrows are that flexible, unless you want to ask Odo.
You know, I've never been on the bridge until now.
There are reasons for that.
It is nice, though.
Don't touch anything.
I won't. I just wanted to give you this, Captain.
And he hands you a data pad.
I was doing a little more research over the trip. Just some trade routes of vessels that belong to entities that, I don't know, the Klingon Empire might consider enemies. Enemies is a good word. Very lucrative trade routes. Unprotected trade routes of your enemies. That's all.
I will take
You
them
see-
for advice.
You see there are definitely some Federation trade routes and some Romulan trade routes.
I will
on there.
take that. I'll take that under advisement.
Just a thought. I better get our cargo in shape for whenever it needs to get transferred off this ship. Have a nice landing.
Well, if we don't, we'll crash again.
I'm not sure if that's serious or a joke. And that is concerning. Oh well,
Take it up with the pilot.
I might have to do that eventually, but I have confidence in the abilities of our captain and crew, otherwise I wouldn't be here, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Delightful as always, Captain.
And he wanders off the bridge.
Oh, by Kalis.
Captain, I do not mean to interrupt, but I believe we are on final approach to Zeth'lor. We should be able to neutralize warp soon.
Have you made contact already with traffic control?
Not yet, Captain. I was waiting for us to enter orbit.
Alright, well, they're going to want to control the traffic probably once we get in system, but whatever.
Oh, okay.
Azek is at the helm, correct?
Correct.
Azek, once we get in system, do your thing, but do it right this time.
You just had to throw that last part of there.
Always.
Oh, the pressure. Azek, do you dare a roll, possibly to generate some momentum for next time?
Sure, except my roll 20 crashed, so.
Oh no, I will roll for you then.
Okay.
Oh.
This will be a
Thank you.
control plus con roll, and while it would be funny, I will not expend the threat to boost your complication range. If anything is to come of this, it is a natural 20. At least if we complicate. Let's see what we do. We'll find out how the roll goes next time. No, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out right now. 2 successes, so you score the point of momentum, and with relative ease, you pull the yawn out of warp.
And don't break the ship.
Yep. And you begin your approach at shifting over to impulse, making for Zeth'lor orbit, where While Vopri begins to speak with traffic control, seeking approval, there are other ships that are in the area, though all seem to be tending to their business, and none have yet given you any mind. Nor will they, as Vopri says, Captain, I have received clearance from traffic control to land.
Very well. Isaac, take us.
All right, and with that, the Yan will begin to descend into the orbit of Zeth'lor. And that is where we will leave off with tonight's session. So for those of you joining us here in the archive, thank you for stopping in today to catch this, or for those of you that are watching this on YouTube. This is where we will cut off today's session. Welcome you to Season 2, and if you want to ever catch any of our streams live, we are Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All the appropriate links are here in the description of the video below. So we hope that you enjoy, and this is where we will leave you off.